In parts 3 and 4 of the B2 First speaking test, you're going to show you can share ideas, give opinions, and interact in English.
Interaction is really important in these parts of the exam, and we're going to show you how to do it.
Hello everyone, I'm Craig.
And I'm Vicky, and this is the fourth and final video in a series about the B2 First speaking test.
Formerly known as the Cambridge First Certificate Exam in English, or FCE.
We've put links below so you can see other videos in this series.
And today we're looking at parts 3 and 4 of the exam.
They're connected because they're both on the same topic.
In part 3, you'll have a question to discuss with your partner and some ideas to help you. And in part 4, you'll answer some questions from the examiner.
It all starts with a task. The examiner will give you a question to discuss.
Now you're going to talk about something together. Here are some inventions that are important in everyday life, and there's a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task.
Let's look at the task now, and while you do, think of some vocabulary you could use to talk about the question.
And also, think about what questions you could ask your partner. Now you have about 2 minutes to say why these inventions are important in our everyday lives.
Well, refrigerators are the most important.
Yeah.
I keep a lot of beer in mine. It's a very big American refrigerator. It makes ice as well, which is really nice in the summer when it's hot. It's awesome.
Speak together.
I agree that refrigerators are important because they stop food going bad.
The examiner wants to see interaction with the other candidate here, so make sure you discuss the question with your partner.
Talking to the examiner is a common mistake. Remember to ask your partner questions and interact. But what do you think about the internet? Most people use it every day.
I use my refrigerator every day.
Well, yes, we all do.
I don't like warm beer.
Another mistake candidates sometimes make is they focus on one idea and don't talk about the others. For example, Jay kept talking about refrigerators.
You don't have to discuss all the ideas, but try to move the conversation forward.
Let's discuss a different idea now. What are your thoughts on mobile phones?
I don't have one.
Yes, but why are phones important in most people's everyday lives? I think it's because they're easy to carry around wherever we go, and they're useful in emergencies. Do you agree?
I don't have one.
How about moving on to washing machines? They save time and work, of course. I think they're very important. What about you?
I don't think so.
Jay disagreed here, and that's fine. It's okay to agree or disagree with your partner, but he needs to give reasons.
Yes, Jay wouldn't get a good mark because he's still talking to the examiner, he's not asking for his partner's opinions, and also he's not giving reasons.
It means his answers are too short, and that's a problem. He needs to discuss with a partner for about 2 minutes.
That's quite a while.
Yes, you need to keep speaking until the examiner tells you to stop. Let's look at some language that can help you. You'll need to state opinions and give reasons.
I think refrigerators are important because they stop food from going bad.
I don't think microwave ovens are important because lots of people manage without them.
You need to find out if your partner agrees or not.
Do you agree?
What about you?
How about you?
And you'll need to move from one idea to another.
What do you think about the internet?
What are your thoughts on cell phones?
How about moving on to washing machines?
Let's discuss a different one now.
After you've spoken for 2 minutes, the examiner will stop you and ask you to discuss another question. Now you have about a minute to decide which 2 inventions you think it would be most difficult to live without.
Refrigerators. Like I said, I don't like warm beer.
Well, the refrigerators could be one invention, but we have to choose 2. What do you think about washing machines?
So now the task is to come to a decision. They must try to decide on the top 2 inventions.
Be careful, because if you decide too early, you'll have nothing to discuss, and you need to keep talking for about a minute.
You don't have to reach a decision. You just have to try and keep talking until the examiner stops you.
Let's move on now to part 4. This is the final part where the examiner will ask you questions.
And there'll be questions about the topic you just discussed in part 3. Let's see an example. Vicky, what do you think is the most important invention for your family?
Perhaps the internet, because we use it to keep in touch. We communicate most days on Skype.
Thank you. Jay, what about you?
What about me? What?
Pay attention and don't do what Jay did here.
It's important to listen to the examiner's questions and your partner's answers, because the examiner may ask you to comment.
They might say, "And you?" or "What about you?" or "What do you think?" And you need to be ready to answer.
Jay, what about you?
What about me? What?
What do you think is the most important invention for your family?
Oh, the refrigerator, but not the cell phone. We lost all our family photos when I put my cell phone in the washing machine. That's why I don't have one now. We'll never see pictures of Great Aunt Susie again.
Jay's answer was actually pretty good there.
Yes, he gave reasons and his sentences were longer and more connected.
Remember, the examiners don't mark your thoughts and ideas, they only mark the quality of your English.
Let's look at some more questions. Vicky, do you think mobile phones are becoming too popular these days?
Maybe because when I try to talk to people face to face, sometimes they don't look at me. They look down at their phone.
Jay, what's the most exciting technological development at the moment?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Yes, what's the most exciting technological development at the moment?
Oh, hearing aid technologies.
So if you don't understand, you can ask the examiner to repeat the question.
You can say, "Could you repeat that, please?" Or, "Could you say that again?" Notice we say that in these questions.
So what can you do if your partner talks too much or if they don't talk enough?
If they talk too much, you're going to have to interrupt. And you want to do it politely if you can.
And if they're not speaking enough, ask them questions. Remember, these parts of the exam are all about interaction.
And don't worry about losing marks because of your partner. You will be marked separately.
So the examiner doesn't compare you with your partner and you get separate marks. And that's it. Now you know what to do in parts 3 and 4 of the exam.
and in all the parts of the speaking exam if you watch our other videos.
So good luck if you're taking the exam.
We'd love to know how you get on, so please write and tell us in the comments.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye,
everyone.
everyone.